It hasn't happened, but it's only been a few hours yet, so let's see what happens. Just take a look at where we are right now. I think it's important to point out that we're trading at a nice premium to the underlying spot price here, 18,000 now over that. The cash price is 16,700. It's been fluctuating, but you got a good $1,200 premium or so. This is what's called the cost of money, the carry. That's tying up money for a month, so it's usually a little bit of a premium. Whether that's worth the 8% or so, well, we'll find out here. Two trading halts, but they were part of the product design. I don't think people were too surprised about that. It's important to emphasize that this is a very small numbers of trading here that we're doing. So we had about 3,000 contracts traded, and the value of that, the notional value of that is like $50 million if you put up the next full screen. We're talking about very small numbers right now. Compare this to gold, for example. Gold could trade up to, what, 400,000 contracts a day? And the gold contract's about $125,000. By the way, you see gold moving down there, maybe some Bitcoin effect for gold. So the point is the contracts are starting small, but everyone still seems to feel that it was orderly. If you take a look overall, it's still a very small market. It's important to realize, despite all this hoopla, just how big this is. Roughly $300 billion for all the value of Bitcoin, maybe a little higher right now, but gold's a $6 trillion market. The U.S. stock market is a $25 trillion market. The bond market's a $38 trillion market. So perspective is very important. I know everybody's spending a lot of time and everybody wants to talk about it, but understand. Now, some people are hoping this is going to be a $1 trillion market. We had Cboe caught up with Cameron Winklevoss, who owns the Gemini exchange, and he said over the weekend, directionally, he thinks it's a multi-trillion-dollar asset. We'll see, but it's going to take a while, certainly for that to get there. Where we go from here, what's next? Well, we've got to build some open interest. They've got to get a little more volume in this thing. We've got to see more people long and short the contract. We'll get some kind of notions in the next week or two about how many people are actually shorting that. They should have weekly numbers. You need a more narrow bid and ask. It's been wide overnight. And most importantly, we'll get another futures contract starting on December 18th, and we'll see how that goes from there. So overall, I'd say it's a orderly open, but very, very small numbers. Keep in mind.
Interesting features of Bitcoin as an underlying market, Bob. As you know, a relatively small number of people. The estimates are like 1,000 people own maybe 40% of outstanding Bitcoin. These are early adopters who have it there. And the question was, were they going to take the opportunity of futures out there to maybe, hedge or take some off the table in that way? Impossible to see right now. But it's unlike, for example, gold or any other commodity where you have such concentrated ownership.
Yeah, and the other thing to remember is who owns Bitcoin. It's very good evidence that 50–60% of the market is Japanese, Taiwan, and those people, they're all net long. It's all retail people that are out there. What I want to see is what happens when some hedge funds that have some very strong directional ideas about Bitcoin, i.e. they think it's a bubble or they think it's inflated, want to get in, and they can get in for dollars now. They're obviously not getting there. People are just sitting around waiting to see how this thing opens, and so far it's been fine, but I don't see a lot of people. I wouldn't expect a lot of people to come shorting the market the first day of trading.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.